My name is Daniel. I'm 20 years old. I was born in a small village called Palmfield, but we moved to the city when I was 10. My father said the village was too slow. He wanted us to live where there was light, water, and fast things. We came to River Lane City, a place full of tall buildings, cars that never stopped, and people always rushing somewhere. At first, I missed our small house in Palmfield. I missed the sound of birds in the morning and the laughter of children playing in the dust. But after a while, I got used to the noise of the city, the horns, the shouting, the smell of smoke. It became my new normal. My father got a job in a small factory. My mother sold fruits in front of our house. We were poor but happy. We laughed at dinner. We prayed before bed. We had each other. But something strange started happening. It began with a dream. I saw myself walking in the middle of the street. The city was quiet, too quiet. No cars, no people, no sounds. I called out, but no one answered. I woke up sweating. My heart was racing. I told my mother and she smiled. Maybe you're thinking too much. But the dream came again, and again, and again. Every time the same thing. Silence, empty streets, me, alone. It was a Sunday. I remember clearly because we all wore our best clothes for church. My mother had cooked rice and chicken. My father was unusually quiet that morning. During the service, something strange happened. The preacher stopped halfway through his sermon and looked straight at me. He said, "God is warning someone here. Don't ignore the voice." I looked around. Was he talking to me? That night I couldn't sleep. My dream came again, but this time there was something new. I saw a clock. It was counting down. The numbers were red. I woke up crying. Something was wrong, very wrong. My parents and I sat outside the house after dinner. The power had gone out again and the air was hot. We told stories and laughed. At exactly 12 o'clock midnight, I felt something shift. The air became heavy. The night grew colder. I looked around. Everything went silent. Not the usual silence. This was deep, dark, empty. I looked at my parents, but they were frozen, still, not moving. "Daddy," I called, no answer. "Mommy?" Still nothing. I stood up and shouted, "Hello!" The sky grew darker. I ran inside. The fan had stopped turning. The clock had stopped ticking. I opened the front door again. The street was empty. The lights from other houses were gone. No cars, no sound, no wind, nothing. I woke up on the cold floor. I had passed out from fear. When I stepped outside, I expected people to be running, shouting, panicking. But no one was there. No children, no workers, no traders. The city was gone. The buildings were there, but the life was not. I ran to the market, empty. I ran to the school, empty. I ran to the main road, nothing. I screamed until my voice cracked. I broke into someone's house, no one. I sat on the ground and cried for hours. Days passed. I didn't eat. I drank water from pipes. I slept on the streets. I kept hoping to find someone. Just one person, a dog, a baby, a sign, but there was nothing. I went to the police station, empty. I went to the airport, empty. I went to the train station, nothing. I started thinking maybe I was dead. Maybe this was hell, but I was breathing. I was hurting. I was still alive. I took a phone and turned on the radio. Nothing. I tried to pray, but no words came out. I began to lose my mind. I started talking to myself, to the walls, to the birds that were no longer there. On the 13th day, I sat inside an abandoned hospital, staring at the ceiling when I heard something. A voice, soft where gentle. It said, "Daniel." I looked around, eyes wide. "Who's there?" No one. Then it came again. "Daniel." It was coming from inside me, but not from my thoughts. It was coming from somewhere deeper. I fell to my knees. The voice said, "You were warned. The time came, and they were taken." Taken where?" I asked, shaking. The voice said, "The world laughed, ignored, mocked. Now it is done." I cried and begged, "Why am I still here?" Silence. Then the voice said, "You still have a chance." I woke up from the floor of the hospital with a sharp headache. I wasn't dreaming. I knew what the voice meant. It was the end. and I was left behind. Why me? I wasn't a bad person, but I remembered all the warnings, the ones I laughed at, the ones I ignored. I remembered the preacher's eyes staring straight into mine. I remembered the dreams. I remembered my pride. I remembered how I lived as if I owned time. Now, time had stopped for everyone else, except me. I started writing letters to anyone who might read them one day. I walked through the city. The buildings looked like bones. The air felt like death. But in my heart, something new started to grow. Hope, not because I could fix anything, but because maybe, just maybe, I could still be forgiven. The voice came again. "This is your last night," I asked. "Will I also disappear?" The voice said, "No. You will wake up in the place your heart chooses." I cried that night. Hard. I thought of my mother's laughter, my father's strong hands, our small house in Palmfield, the mango tree we sat under, the soft rain on our roof. I thought of the things I never said. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "Please let me start again." I woke up to the sound of birds. I opened my eyes. I was back in Palmfield, the small house, the dusty floor, the smell of firewood. I ran outside. Children were playing. People were laughing. I saw my mother. She looked young again, bright, shining. She hugged me and said, "You made it." Sometimes the loudest warnings are the ones we ignore, and sometimes mercy looks like a second chance, but not everyone gets one.